Welcome to the coolest stuff on the planet.
Oh, are we on?
We are. Ready?
Oh, hey, welcome to the podcast. I'm Rachel.
Yes, and my name is Matt.
And this is the coolest stuff on the planet. So we're going to go back to Rajasthan. And you remember in the last one we were in Jaisalmer, we talked about how Rajasthan has a couple of really colorful cities. Mm-hmm. So today we're going to go to Jodhpur, which is often called the Blue City.
You'll find Jodhpur in the southeast of Jaisalmer. That's where we were talking about before, in the state of Rajasthan. And Jodhpur is also a desert city. It's located on the edge of the Thar Desert, but unlike Jaisalmer's yellow tint that we noticed, this one has more of a blue tint.
A lot of a blue tint.
Yes. And it gets its name from the blue whitewashed houses that are found mostly in the old city. That's old capital city.
And I have to say, if you could be in love with this city, I would be in love with this city. Because it's so blue. I love it.
Simply for that fact?
I just love it. It's so blue. I want my house to be blue. I want everyone's house to be like bright blue. So aside from these excellent blue buildings, Jodhpur is probably most famous for its fort. Mm-hmm. Which looms 400 feet above the city, Matt, on this rocky cliff, and it has serious defenses.
Oh, yeah. There are a lot of forts in this area, I've noticed.
Oh, yeah.
So we're talking bastions, just like we talked about in the other podcast, ramparts, cannons, spiked gates to keep friggin' elephants out. It's got a huge surrounding wall that's more than 100 feet tall, and it's almost 70 feet wide in some places. I guess, is that deep? 70 feet deep?
I think so, yeah.
That's ridiculous. The fort is often called impregnable because it was never successfully breached by attackers.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Jaisalmer was a couple of times, but this one was not.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is cool. Apparently, you can see cannonball scars on the side of the fort.
Yeah, you can.
But tell me, Matt, because remember I asked a little question in the last podcast on Jaisalmer. So I want to know, what's a rampart?
The ramparts are basically the earthen structure on which, at least for this instance, the ramparts referring to the earthen structure on which the fort is built.
Oh.
But it's also a wall in itself because it's inclined and it's made out of stones and rock that were there that the fort is sitting on. Huh. And it's hard to get past that.
I see. I'm an architectural dummy, but that's all right.
No. It's confusing because rampart can refer to a lot of different things.
Okay. So inside the fort, you have this beautiful, elaborate palace complex. Has courtyards. It has several beautiful palaces, temples, and it also has an excellent museum which is full of memorabilia from the Maharajas. And also, I love this. This is so high tech. There's an MP3 audio tour that you can take in multiple languages.
Yes, and make sure you wear headphones because above you, what you're going to hear is. That's all the monkeys on the roof running around up there.
Wow, they got up really high, those monkeys.
Yeah, and they're loud. Are your monkeys making too much noise? Okay.
So let's explain where these monkeys come from. They're not from Matt's imagination.
They're not.
They do actually exist, and they are in Jodhpur.
This is true. Like in many other cities in India, monkeys are revered there, and you'll find them all over the place in Jodhpur. This particular kind is called the Hanuman langur. Is that correct?
And these monkeys are considered sacred because they're thought to be the avatar or the incarnation of the Hindu god, the monkey god, Hanuman.
Yes.
And Hanuman was kind of a big player in the Ramayana, which is a big Hindu epic.
So these long-tailed monkeys are quite well adapted to city life. They use their tails for balance when they're running along the rooftops. It's pretty cool looking. You can see right here. And they live on the rooftops and all over the place in the city. And fun fact, their tails are often longer than their entire body.
The interesting thing about this, because these monkeys are revered, so the locals will often feed them, but they'll also let them steal their food.
Yeah.
So like these monkeys will get into like food that's drying or like market stands or whatever. They do all sorts of crazy things, and the locals are like, okay. And we actually have, I don't know if you've seen this, Matt, but there's a video on our site of showing this like bad Hanuman monkey behavior.
I did see it in my research. They're naughty.
They are naughty.
So back to the non-monkey attractions. There's also the Jaswant Tata, a beautiful white marble mausoleum and a crematorium that was built to commemorate the life of Maharaja Jaswant Singh II.
That's the name, Jaswant.
Yes, exactly. And it's an example of a cenotaph. And now, okay, kids, we're going to do a little lesson here. Say it with me, cenotaph.
Cenotaph.
Good. Now, a cenotaph is a monument or a tomb created in someone's honor, but that person's remains in which it's honoring are stored somewhere else, so not at the actual where the monument is.
Interesting.
That's a cenotaph, kids, in the bank of the memories.
Nice. Another attraction that you'll see, you see this big white fancy palace, also in a rocky outcropping.
Okay.
So that's called the Umaid Bhavan Palace. And this is famous Art Deco palace. It's part hotel, it's part museum, and it used to be the private residence of the Maharaja.
Okay.
And it still houses, like one wing of it still houses the current Maharaja of Jodhpur.
Oh, wow.
And yes, there are actually still Maharajas, which I
Whoa.
discovered, which I was surprised. But in fact, they're not rulers anymore. They just have the title.
Oh.
But they still get to be called Maharaja, so that's kind of cool.
Oh, and don't forget to check out the old city's colorful marketplaces, like the Sadar Bazaar, which is quite fun to say. And you can get all sorts of goods there, including all kinds of dyes, spices, handcrafts, fun things. Probably camels if you really wanted.
And like Jaisalmer, Jadpur also has some nice festivals. There's the Marvar Festival, and there's the Rajasthani International Folk Festival, which is very nice and highlights traditional music.
Yes. And kids, I'm sorry, that's the end of the podcast.
Bean!
For more on this and thousands of other topics, visit howstuffworks.com and let us know what you think. Email travelpodcast@howstuffworks.com. Don't forget to check out our other podcasts, free on iTunes.